Hello. One reason some of the best literature across the world could still touch upon our hearts so dearly, even after hundreds and thousands of years, is because the message they hold are universal and timeless. We've already seen many examples in the Tang poetry, such as Thoughts of Missing Home, 低头思故乡, or 来日绮窗前，寒梅著花未, etc. Today, we will look at another universal and timeless topic. It's love for mothers. It's a poem by Meng Jiao, who was born 50 years after Li Bai. We can safely say that this poem is without dispute the most well-known and best written one on this topic. The title is 游子吟. 游子 means someone who is often traveling away from home. 吟 literally means to hum or to chant something. For example, a song or a poem. So the title basically means it's a poem from a traveler, the poet himself. 游子吟，唐·孟郊。慈母手中线，游子身上衣。临行密密缝，意恐迟迟归。谁言寸草心，报得三春晖。This poem has 6 lines, so it's not the 4-line 绝句 format that we have seen so far. It's called 古体, or Asian style, which had existed hundreds of years before the Tang dynasty. This is a style with much freer form, not restricted by the length or tonal or rhythmic requirements. 慈 means kind and loving. 母 is mother. 手中 in her hand. 线 is a yarn or threads for sewing clothes. So this line means the kind and loving mother is holding some yarn in her hands. What is it for? Let's see the next line. 身上 is on the body or on the back. 衣 is clothes. So it's for the clothes on the back of his son, who is a traveler, 游子. So next pair of lines give more details to the scene. 临 is about to. 行 here means to leave home and get on with the travel. 密 means dense. And 缝 is to sew or stitch. Doubling up this 密, so we have 密, makes the stitching even denser. So before the traveler was about to leave home, the mother was sewing, stitch after stitch, very densely into his clothes. We note here there are no subjects before verbs 行 and 缝, which is very common in ancient Chinese literature, especially for poems. Because of the restriction of the length, many subjects are just left out, and the readers need to figure out who were referred to from the context. And it is often fairly straightforward, like here, it has to be the traveler who is about to leave home, and his mother who is doing the needlework. Similarly, in the next line, 意恐迟迟归. 意 means feeling and thoughts. 恐 means 恐怕, afraid. And fearful. Who feels afraid? It is a mother. Why? Because she is afraid his son. Again, this subject is omitted here. Will 迟迟归. 迟 means late. 归 is to return home. Like the previous line, doubling up 迟 shows the mother is really worried that this time her son might return home very, very late. We can see these 4 lines paint a calm but emotional scene. The son is about to leave home, and his mother is sewing up his clothing very attentively and caringly, worried that he may return very late. It's as if she has poured all her love into her sewing. The simple language is so easily understood that it also adds a lot of weight to this plain, natural, and profound motherly love the poet wrote about. And because of the simplicity in language, it leaves a lot of space for the readers to digest, to taste, and to imagine. I don't know how you would imagine and visualize this scene, but for me, it's very natural to see this on a late night and in front of a burning candle in a room with a mother doing the work and his son quietly watching her. Yet there is no mention of when and where this took place at all. It's rather magical, isn't it? Here, the poet indeed showed an extremely masterful way of writing, which can pass on very rich messages way beyond the words actually put down. If these 4 lines have created a setting so fitting about a mother's love for her son, the last 2 lines really push this theme even higher, and in fact, much, much higher than we could ever imagine. The poet used a stunning allegory, spot on and breathtaking. He said, 谁言寸草心，报得三春晖. 谁 is who. 言 is to say. So 谁言 means who says. Who says about what? 草 is grass. 心 is heart. And the 寸 is a Chinese measurement unit, which is equal to 3.33 centimeters. And here refers to how small the grass is, so short and tiny. So 寸草心 means the heart of the small, short grass. These 2 last lines are linked together to form a full sentence. So 报 is to repay someone for the kindness, help, or love, etc. 得 here means to be able to. So 报得 is to be able to repay for kindness and love. To repay to who? It's 三春晖. 春 is spring. The Chinese divide each season into 3 parts. So 三春 just refers to the overall spring. 晖 is sunlight. So the poet asks, who says that the heart of the small grass is able to repay all the sunshine in the spring that has been given to it? It cannot. There is simply no way the grass can do this. The sun is so powerful, while the grass is too small and insignificant. The grass can never survive without the sun, but the sun is doing all this to the grass nonetheless, so selfless, never expecting anything in return. This contrast is so huge. The gap between what the sun does and what the grass can do to show its gratitude is so wide that it's impossible for the grass to repay for the sun's kindness, to 报得三春晖. Now here it may sound like a big exaggeration, but if we think about it closely, this imbalanced relationship between the sun and the grass is exactly what it's like between mother and child. For all the motherly love, so deep and profound, for all that mother has done, such as those shown in this poem, is there any way her children can fully pay her back? Absolutely none at all. It can never happen. The striking resemblance makes this allegory so powerful and overwhelming. This poem put down a mother's love so adequately, vividly, and almost triumphantly, so no wonder can pull on our heartstrings over and over again, generation after generation. That's all for today. Hope you liked it. See you next week.